Hey everybody, it's GoblinX and welcome back to some more Magic Arenas. Today we're going to be playing another premiere draft of Secrets of Strixhaven. Let's get into the pack one, pick one. Here we have Arcane Omens, which is an excellent card for the splashier converge strategies. There's a lot of really powerful versions of that deck. You can start in Quandrix and take a bunch of green fixing. You can start in Prismari with a bunch of good controlling spells and go from there. I like the Arcane Omens quite a bit. This set has played way differently than I thought it would when we first started going in. I remember in like the first week, or at least the pre-release of the format, I was not very sure about any of these Converge cards, but it turns out there are a lot of very slow decks. There's a lot of good fixing you can pull off getting 4 or 5 colors, and there are plenty of matchups where Arcane Omens will be sweet. Obviously, it's not going to be the greatest if you're against Silverquill or Lorehold, but against most of the other decks, this card is ridiculous. So we'll start with Arcane Omens and see where things go. Pack 1, pick number 2. We've got Impractical Joke for one of those really efficient removal spells. Pretty excellent pickup for any deck with red, and if we are a Converge strategy, we're very likely going to be willing to play Impractical Joke at worst, and at best it'll be one of our core colors. Say we go like blue-red and splash everything else in. Yep, I think Impractical Joke is the best card in this pack by mana cost, by rate. Happy to take it. Pick number 3, we got a filler finisher, the Colossus of the Blood Age, which would be fine in Converge because we'll be playing all the colors we can get there. We could also take more efficient removal like Unsubtle Mockery here. Just double up on some red burn. That would be fine to start things pretty controlling. We could take a blue-red dual land because these are some of the best colors. Honestly, just in general, but definitely for Converge as well. I think these 3 look like the best options here. I think I'll grab an Unsubtle Mockery. Pick number 4. Tablet of Discovery is really nice in the Spellslingy versions of Converge, where this gives you 2 mana every turn for your high mana value instants and sorceries. Right now we have 0 creatures and we're only 3 picks in, but this could be pretty good, and 2 of our best cards are just efficient red removal spells, so then grabbing the red mana rock makes sense. So I like the Tableau Discovery here. Mana Sculpt is cool as well. There are a decent amount of wizards in the set where you can try to get some mana back out of this. And even if it's just a cancel, it's okay. Counterspells do play well in this format. Also Johnny's Response for efficient removal, but I think I'm going to go for that Tablet Discovery with the red burn. Pick number 5. All right, hello Lorehold. We've got the practiced edit. All right, pick 5. Hello Lorehold. We've got the practiced Scrollsmith still here. 3 mana for a 3/2 first strike that lets you exile a non-creature non-land from your graveyard and cast it until the end of your next turn. So a really good value play. Like turn 4, you could play this and recast an Impractical Joke or something. You just get a huge 2 for 1. So love Practice Scrollsmith, and that's going to push me towards just a generic Lorehold deck, but we've got a really good start to that. Wilt in the Heat's another great card for Lorehold. Pursue the Past is quite solid too. Looks like a good draft pod for Lorehold. That's a very good sign there. Pick 6, Rebel Rouser can trigger cards that care about things leaving our graveyard. Turn over, turn over, turn. We could also take a Johnny's Response, but I do have a couple removal spells already. We're only halfway through the first pack, so I think I can take those later. Let's grab the Rebel Rouser. Another Rebel Rouser here, or a Spirit Mascot, which keeps getting bigger every time we're activating cards like Rebel Rouser or Ascendant Dust Speaker. I think I'm going to go for another Rebel Rouser here. Just sticking really, really deep on red. We could even end up in like Prismari Splash and a Scrollsmith and some Jeskai stuff. Pick number 8. Not really into this pack. None of these cards are exciting for any of their decks. Glassrite would be fine filler, or we speculate on fixing. I'm just going to speculate on fixing. Pick number 9, there's an Elemental Mascot for Prismari. Rapturous Moment. I really don't think I'm going to play any of this. I'll throw a Mascot on the sideboard. Bulk up to the sideboard. Rapier Wit to the sideboard. I think I'd rather grab a page than the 3/2 there. Dust Speaker is perfectly playable in Lorehold if you have cards that care about things leaving the graveyard. So what do we have? Pack 2, pick 1. We got Tome Blast for an excellent removal spell, or we have Splatter Technique. We have to try to hit double blue for this card, which could be pretty difficult for us, but it is really powerful. We only have 2 white cards in the entire deck so far, so this could be a reason to, again, go like Prismari and just splash in a Scrollsmith into a Prismari deck. Then we get the Elemental Mascot in there too. Yeah, I mean, Splatter Technique is so powerful, it's worth that speculation. Tome Blast is quite good too, though, so if we were like 100% locked in on Lorehold, this wouldn't be a miss or anything. Tome Blast would be a great pickup, but I'm going to grab Splatter Technique. This is my first time I think I've ever gotten to draft this card. I just haven't gotten opened it or passed it, but it's very good. Pack 2, pick 2. Nothing much in blue, nothing much in red. Some good white cards for Lorehold: Reprieve, Primary Research, and Spirit Mascot. Primary Research draws a card every turn we activate a Rebel Rouser. We've got 2 Rebel Rousers. If we end up playing a good, just dedicated Lorehold strategy, I think Primary Research could be really good here. If we drop the 2 blue cards by the end of this draft. Although Reprieve is pretty flexible because it's also a little more splashable, and that'll still be really good in Lorehold. I'll go Reprieve here. The green creature there also just really, really beefy if we wanted to go really convergy here. That would be an opportunity to do that as well. Here's Vibrant Outburst for really efficient Prismari removal. Splashable into a Lorehold deck as well. There's also the Potioner's Trove for trying to do full Converge. The only Converge card we have, though, is the Arcane Omens. We don't have like a good way to stabilize in that deck, so I'm just going to grab Efficient Removal. Pick number 4. Pretty mid-pack. We can take Muse Seeker if we're Prismari at the core. Pick number 5, there's a Potioner's Trove for converging, or a Stone Docent for being Lorehold. Should probably take this Potioner's Trove, even if I'm not a full converge deck. Either direction I go, if I'm Prismari splash white, this helps splash white. And if I'm Lorehold, I still kind of want to try to get a Splatter Technique in there, and that's going to be a really difficult splash, so we really want fixing. I'll grab a Potioner's Trove on this one. Pick number 6. Preordain if we're Prismari, or Elemental Mascot if we're Prismari. There's nothing for Lorehold in this pack. We could take a Titan's Grave, I guess, for Converge if I want to try to fit an Arcane Omens in here. That would be difficult. It might be worth the speculation over just a cantrip like a Preordain. Essence Scatter, very efficient counterspell, or another Unsubtle Mockery. I mean, red is going to be our deepest color no matter what. So I think I'd rather just take another Unsubtle Mockery because it's the only card that we are 100% confident will always go into the deck. And will always be castable. Visionary's Dance to top off the curve looks great. Even off the splash. Second Muse Seeker to set up our draws. Oops, didn't want to cut that, just wanted to kind of scoot him over. Okay, it's looking Prismari. I have a Paint Mage, but I don't have a ton for it. Triple Ancestral Anger in the end of that pack. If we see any more copies of Ancestral Anger, we know we're going to wheel them. So what do we have? Pack 3, pick 1. We got that Divergent Equation, which is a really good finisher for Prismari spells decks. Just pick up all your massive high-impact spells, play them again, that's going to win you the game. I'm going to grab Divergent Equation here over a splashed-in removal spell like a Road or something. Okay, we probably cut the Dust Speaker. We just treat Scrollsmith as another top-end play. The only other white card we've got now is Reprieve. I think Reprieve is fine off the splash. We're not really an Ancestral Anger deck, but it is cute that we got all of those. I'm going to run the Omens. I think I might as well throw these duels in. Pack 3, pick 2. Heated Argument for removal. Blue-red duel. We have 19 non-land cards right now. So I only need a few more actual spells. We can spend some picks on fixing because we haven't done a ton of that so far. We don't have any on-color duels at all. Yeah, I'm just going to take Spectacle Summit really high here. The mana base is going to be a struggle. So let's get working on it. With some cards like double blue, double red and a white. Pack 3, pick 3. Colossus of the Blood Age. Again, a perfectly fine filler finisher, especially since we're already splashing whites. Yep. Take that over Run Behind primarily. Pick number 4. I get the 4th Ancestral Anger. Another Paint Mage, but I don't think it's a very good Paint Mage deck. Another Forum of Amity. Yeah, this pack's a pretty big mulligan. Pick 5. Spectacular Sky Whale or Sky Coach Conductor. Well, it's got to be Sky Coach Conductor. Conductor's great for the cost. Pick number 6. There we go. There's a red-white duel. Perfect. Very, very helpful fixing. Pick number 7. A Johnny's Response or a 3rd copy of Muse Seeker or a Zealous Lorecaster. Two Mockery, Outburst, Joke, Splatter. I think I could use a response, but also triple Muse Seeker is very funny. Landscape Painter is the only on-color card. Dust Speaker, Tackle Artist, probably don't play those. Actually would play a Quick Study. That seems okay. We'll draw 2. Fractalize, Paint Mage, and Virtuoso. Guess I'll grab another Paint Mage. I feel like these are going to be some of our first cuts if we get to it, though. Spell Pierce. My lord, triple Paint Mage. All right, how many non-land cards do we have? We have enough that we have a 45 card deck right now. So we get to cut 5 cards. We have none of these Paint Mages. We only have a few cards that cost more than 2 or 3, and a lot of our best instants and sorceries are specifically instants, where we're not going to play the main phase anyway. Yeah, I kind of want to just cut a bunch of creatures. Do. One final cut to go. Maybe the 2-1. Take a peek at our colors. We have 11 blue, 12 red, 3 white, and 1 black. I'm not going to put a single swamp in here. We have triple black duel and Potioner's Trove. For our 3 white cards, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 white sources and a Potioner's Trove, which seems fine. And then for our main colors, both pretty much equally important, we have 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7. So 7, 7 on the main colors, and a Potioner's Trove. All right, yeah. It's going to be a little awkward, like particularly hard to get to like double blue or double red when we're only on 7 of each. But that's only super necessary for splatter technique. The rest is a bunch of single red and single blue, so I think it could work out all right. Nice little Jeskai control build here. We'll see how it plays out for us as we hop into the gameplay. All right, here we are on the play for game number 1. The only reason it's a keep is because Visionary's Dance can be cast as a little draw spell early. But it is a keep. Perfect, that helps a ton. Playing against a Witherbloom, there's their Bogwater Lumerette, their best 2-drop play. That way they gain a life every time they're playing any creature. Spell Pierce, hold up, or sorry, Muse Seeker, hold up a Spell Pierce, or just try to kill the Bogwater Lumerette here. I'm just going to try to kill the Bogwater Lumerette here. Nice, get a free kill off the Sky Coach Conductor, one of the best pieces of value you can get off of it. Okay. Muse Seeker, hold up a Spell Pierce here, I think. I should not have tapped like that, though. Should have held up double blue so I could do all aboard and Spell Pierce. Creature Planeswalker control the greatest mana value among creatures and planeswalkers, and Spell Pierce cannot hit that, so that does just kill the 2/3. The awkwardly efficient removal. Gotta find another land. I guess I can cast Splatter Technique off Rebel Rouser. I don't really think I need a second Muse Seeker here, but yeah, I'm just gonna decline. Apologies. Alright, we found the land anyway. There's a Shopkeeper's Bane. If I Splatter Technique, I kill Pest Mascot, Bane, I kill my own Rebel Rouser, yes. And my own Muse Seeker, but I draw a card off the Muse Seeker, so I'll have 4 cards in hand to there too. I think that is a position I can expect to try to turn things around and win from. Whereas if I leave these around, the stuff is going to get out of range. It's going to be really hard to turn the game around. Environmental Scientist, just a 2/2 pick up a land is fine. Quick Study's a good draw. Let's see what we got. Land. Play the tap land here just to keep this Spell Pierce. Doesn't look like a good Spell Pierce matchup, though. Witherbloom doesn't tend to have high mana value non-creatures like Prismari does. Prismari and Converge decks are where your Spell Pierce is really nice. Rebel Rousing. Discard a mountain, draw a card. Drawn 0 regular removal yet, so there's got to be a pretty big chunk of it in the deck somewhere. All of our removal's big enough to kill a 4-2, so we're just trying to find one. Okay to lose a Muse Seeker to kill Environmental Scientist? I think so. Muse Seeker's only going to really matter if we find more 5-mana value spells, which we don't have a ton of in here. Foolish Fate? Sure. And an Adventurous Eater. Just try actual factual 0 removal is definitely a way to lose. Drop our blockers and pass. Pray. Auto Tapper was very bad again. I should have held a blue up so that I could play Spell Pierce without tapping Trove, so that even if it's not going to counter their thing, I can still gain 2 off of it. Okay. Well, it is going to counter their thing, thank God. But I don't get to gain any life because the auto tap was really bad. I guess I just need to manual tap 24/7 in this format. Take 5, lose the mascot. Will we draw a removal spell? Nope. Jump and pass. Okay. Debating if I should do that in their untapped step or wait till they go to combat. Just gonna wait till they go to combat. I can't activate Titan's Grave. I don't have nearly the right colors. Man. Alright, well, they got us. I did do the wrong plays a couple turns. I probably could have lasted at least one more turn. Most of the wrong plays there were auto tapper related. I think the biggest issue here was that we drew 1 removal spell the entire game. I mean, outside of the board wipe, obviously, but we have a lot more removal than that. We were 35 cards deep. Yeah, we don't have quite as much removal as I thought. We've just got the 4 targeted removal spells, but not hitting any of them until over halfway through the deck was definitely really painful there. But I think maybe if we had manually tapped the entire game, and we would have had enough life to survive at least one more turn for another draw step, if nothing else. Probably could have stabilized if we played that out perfectly, but we will focus on doing that in some future games. That is going to be 0-1 heading into game 2. All right, here we are for game 2. Another mono blue opener. We'll keep the quick study to try to find the other colors. Visionary's Dance as well. Good draw. Prismari Mirror Match. I think in the mirror I'd rather not cycle Visionary's Dance this early. Drop a Trove. Good draw. Natural Jeskai from our opponent. Island Mountain Plains. There's Elemental Mascot. We can Unsettle Mockery that. Although that would be tapping out of the Trove. Yeah, it's only going to hit us for a couple damage right now. I don't need to kill it immediately. We'll go quick study, but we'll save it for their turns, so that we do have the option of Mockery as well. Pursue the Past. Discard a card, draw 2. Discard a Tome Blast. Go to 18. Quick study. Game 2. got one and a blue up, so they have like an Essence Scatter. They can do that. Drop the Elemental Mascot and still have an Unsettled Mockery up, and then that's the Essence Scatter bait. But they don't have an Essence Scatter. Just skipped right past us casting the Elemental Mascot. Heated Argument. Blow this up. Draw Mountain off Elemental Mascot. Okay. I think I'm okay to kill their mascot here. I do need a 7th mana for Visionary's Dance, so I don't hate drawing me Titan's Grave. And then we just turn Scrollsmith into a draw 2. I might as well just play Colossus at that point. Blow up the Colossus, we'll draw 1. Because I'm not discarding any of these. Draw a Forum of Amity. Man, if we draw Arcane Omens, our opponent is gone. Let's see if they have Spell Pierce. Nope. We're dancing. Colorstorm Stallion, Stadium Title Mage. So if they play a 5 mana value spell, such as just recasting a Tome Blast next turn, they're going to get a duplicate of the Stallion. And if they keep doing that, the Stallions go wider and wider and wider. That's really scary. So we're going to go ahead and Scrollsmith the Stallion. White, white, red. So that I still have the red up for the burn spell here. Pay the ward. Surveil another land into our grave, and I still have the mana for Page. They're down to 13. Looking at that graveyard, they got their own Divergent Equation here. They cast while we're tapped out. They've got multiple flashback spells, though. So it doesn't necessarily even mean that. They do have a Divergent Equation, but they're going to use it for 1 card. Guess because they're just really concerned about the damage they're taking right now. Ooh, let's go. I only have to Arcane Omens them for 2 here, but That's pretty fine. Means they've got no way to kill our other flyer now. They had a Jadzi as their kind of finisher, their win condition. Pursue the past. Getting a flashback, doing some digging. Their resonating loot was not going to be enough, so they ditched that to draw 2. Got a Vibrant Outburst here. Could tap the Tidal Mage and shoot them in the face for 3. That puts them to 6 life, and we attack for 6. Granted, they're probably playing another creature this turn. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. 10 mana total. We can Divergent Equation and spend 8 on X. So spend 9 to pick up 4 cards. That should be game ending. If they did not draw a counterspell. Okay, they're tapping out, which is perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Use everything but the Trove here. They draw a card, discard a card off their Tidal Mage. Rebel Rouser's the draw. Let's rip their 2 cards out of hand first. What is going on? No, pay the floating mana, please. Trying to tap my Spectacle, so we don't need to overkill this Converge arena. This really is a pretty rough format for the auto tapper. Do we Rebel Rouse or do we Quick Study? Let's Rebel Rouse so we can start pinging them for 1 a turn as quickly as possible. Actually, fine discarding the Quick Study for a free draw 1 instead of a 3 mana draw 2. Textbook Tabulator is their draw to Surveil. But they've got no flyers down. We can get a couple here next turn. That'll kill them in 1 swing. We hit them for 6, and then we shoot them for the final 3 with Vibrant Outburst. Sky Coach Conductor's another flyer. Beautiful. That means not gaining the life with Potioner's Trove, but that's fine. Tablet of Discovery, 1 final draw for our opponent. We'll see if that can save them from lethal next turn. A Plains certainly does not. Plop down a flyer. And hit for 9. 8 here and 1 off Rebel Rouser. I technically missed 1 Rebel Rouser ping, but still lethal there. That is going to be 1-1 heading into game 3. Got some excellent mana here, game 3. We got our blue, our red, and our white, as well as a Converge mana for our Arcane Omens. Alright, here we go. Start with our tap land and see what our opponent's up to. They start with a mountain. There's a Spectacle Summit for us. Drop down a Muse Seeker. Lore Hold over there. I'm gonna quick study immediately or just play another Muse Seeker first. I think I'm pretty fine to play another Muse Seeker. Get a draw 2, discard 2 here, ditching the plains. There's an Abigail. So they are Lorehold and Silverquill, red, white, and black for all the aggressive schools together. Let's quick study and see what we hit. Draw a card, ditch a plains. Draw a card, ditch a page at this point. I guess I'll have 5 mana next turn, which is enough for Conductor plus Page. It's kind of okay to get ditch a land here. Sure. Find the Arcane Omens, which makes me sad that I ditched a land, because now we don't know if we'll be able to cast it next turn. If I kept a land, we could definitely just Omens them for 4 here. There's Rebel Rouser. Discard a card, draw a card. Oh, come on, top deck, any basic land. Dang. Yeah, ditching that land worked really, really poorly because of the Arcane Omens draw. This would have been a beautiful turn to just Omens them. Alright, we're still okay. Oh yeah, my reasoning didn't even make sense because it's like I'm not going to have the mana to do 2-drop Page, 3-drop Conductor if I ditch that land. We really should have ditched the Page. Mascot holds off damage here. But Conductor can draw 2, discard 2. And I think I'm just digging for mana now. Alright, let's see if they combat trick kill the Conductor. If so, that's fine. It's a 1-for-1 trade. This thing's a sorcery, so they'd have to spend an actual spell to kill the Conductor here. Alright, let's draw 2, discard 2. Not a land. Discard a Rebel Rouser. More expensive mana dork. Not a land. Discard Page. So I can play these removal and kill Abigail. Yikes. That land is nowhere. That 4 toughness is certainly rough. Visionary's Dance for land for turn? Where are you at? Where are you even at? Might have to block Abigail and shoot for another 3 here. It's currently their only threat. We get another draw 2, discard 2. Tap land's not wonderful, but it is better than nothing. Okay, I will get rid of the tap land for the untapped land. Get a Rubber Rouser ping. We kill the flyer. Okay. think the only thing they could really have here is a reprieve. Otherwise, this is going to discard their whole hand, and we're going to draw 2 off the Muse Seekers. This will be the win, even if it took a while to get there. Oh, it's a discard 3. I don't get black and white here. Still worth it for sure. Opponent discards 3, we draw 2. I think the copies converge 0, because you didn't spend any colors on it. Okay. But still better to play that than have to just discard it. So they could have just been putting the 2/2 out. Although it might have been better to just double turn our things into flyers. It's debatable. We're chilling now. Got Divergent Equation to bring a bunch of stuff back and win. Soon. I don't need to splatter technique this board or anything. Find an Unsubtle Mockery. So we can kill the Rebel Rouser too. I'm gonna let it hit me a little bit so that I can wait until their end step in case they play anything scarier. My only concern at this point is that I'm gonna need to cast so many spells to win that the Muse Seeker is gonna mill me out. Because they have to draw a card, discard a card every time I cast one. We'll just obviously cast no more card draw or mill for the rest of the game. Divergent Equation picks up 3 cards at this point. Probably enough. Pick up Visionary's Dance. And Vibrant Outburst. We got 3 cards in hand. We can pick up Arcane Omens too. Ooh, hold up a Spell Pierce. There's an Ennis. Just a 1/1 by himself. Dig side inventory to buff him up. They're at 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage this turn. Not lethal. We'll mock him. Surveil and keep that card. Yeah, we can put them to 1, but 1 is not 0. There's the concession from our opponent. All right, was getting a little sketchy there. We played all 3 of our Muse Seekers throughout that game, so we did get really low on cards in library, but the recast dance was enough to get there in the end. That is 2-1 heading into game number 4. All right, no red in this opening hand is awkward. We got the black for the omens. If we draw into the red, it's going to be good, but there's only 7 red sources. We are a deck that's a bit lower on its main colors, so I think we should just mulligan. This is much better. Get rid of the reprieve without a white source till Trove. think that's okay. But then I just have all mana in hand, but that does mean that if I draw into basically anything, it's going to be castable. Playing against a red deck, it is going to be Lorehold, red and white. Hardened Academic, the Haster to start them off. We do not have a burn spell in this hand, so that is going to be painful. Find a Spectacle Summit, but we drop the page here. And there's Expressive Fire Dancer to beat down. We find an Arcane Omens, which means I want to play the tap land now if I want to be able to Omens them next turn. Well, that means I'm going to take a hit here. I could Omens next turn off Rebel Rouser. No. No, because I can't play Rebel Rouser without playing the untapped source, and then by playing a tap land next turn I wouldn't be able to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I guess I could, yeah. If I play the untapped land, if they don't kill Page, I can still play Arcane Omens next turn. Because the Mana Rock and the Page is a Mana Rock. That'd be an Omens for 4. Okay. Let's go untapped land. I'm not going to block with Page anyway, and then go Trover Rouser. Let's go Trove to up the Converge, and then by holding up the blue off of not the Trove, we will be able to gain 2 if they cast a non-creature here. Take 4, go to 12. They have nothing. And then they have nothing. Well, let's empty their hand. Black, blue, red, white. Converge 4, yeah. You can get the lifelink, but that doesn't matter. They have a dual tactics for flashback, but everything else is gone now. We're going to go to 8, but then we can Impractical Joke the Academic or the Fire Dancer. Top deck is a Menacer that gets bigger every time they cast anything. The top deck is actually even worse for us. Colossus gains us some life right when it enters, but it doesn't block Academic or Maestro. I think we Rebel Rouse, ditch the Spell Pierce. We need to find ways to kill things that are already resolved. Then we Impractical Joke the Maestro, gain a couple. Shut off our block for 1 turn, put a +1/+1 counter on the board. Go to 4. 3, 4, 5. I don't have the mana to play both, so we just play Colossus. I guess I do if I tap both of these, but I need blockers up. I don't think we're exiling instants or sorceries out of our grave for Rebel Rouser when we are a Divergent Equation deck. Let's find a burn for this academic, please. Well, can dig for it as soon as we hit any instant or sorcery, but that is not it. We're dead if they find anything with flashback. Oh, we might die for killing the big menacer instead of the big flyer. Okay. It's actually quite real. Yes, Sky Coach Conductor is genuinely sick here. Gains us like 5 life because we get to redo the Colossus ability and use the Potioner's Trove. Oh boy, this is not good. Man, they found the flashback card just in time to get the Academic to 3 toughness off of its ability. Which means that this Conductor that we just drew doesn't actually kill it, which was the hope. That Conductor would gain all this life and also kill Academic. But it's like, nope, it does not. That's pretty rough. Man, and they have the removal. Jesus. Well, that means I'll have a card in hand before these draw and discard triggers, which is a big, big deal. Turns them into actual draw instead of milling. But, man, they had the perfect stuff to blow that up. We have to chump everywhere. Dang. Yeah, that was pretty brutal. Whoa, discarding that for lifelink is crazy. The white mythic. Fine with that then. Draw another land, ditch it and see what we find. Another Muse Seeker. Well, they got us. We are dead in the sky. Rough game. I felt like that Sky Coach was like a really good turn to stabilize, but they had the perfect draws to just completely counteract that play. Rough stuff. 2-2 it is, heading to game 5. Alright, here we are on the draw for game number 5. We keep this, and we try to draw lands of any kind. Drawing the island is actually perfect. Now we're just chilling. Playing against Witherbloom, though, where Spell Pierce is not the greatest. Witherbloom is just a super creature-heavy deck. This Mockery's not going to kill Striker until a 4th mana, so we can just play a Mascot for now to block it if they don't gain life this turn. Didn't gain life this turn, but Pest Brute Sloth is a nightmare. Now that I have double Mockery, I'm okay to go tap land and Mockery the Sloth here. I guess I could have Mockeried the Sloth during my turn to chip in for 2. Colossus the Blood Age is pretty great. I'll keep the 6th land. So Rabbit Attack just ends up being just trade the whole Rabbit Attack into the whole Elemental Mascot. 1-for-1 trade is fine. Okay. We definitely need to not Arcane Omens now. I mean, they've dumped basically their whole hand anyway, but we need to kill Striker, or else it's buffing, like, when their board is as wide with these pest tokens. It's buffing the heck out of some stuff. So let's Unsettle Mockery that. Find Reprieve. Bit late for a Reprieve, I think. I'll ditch it. Witherbloom. Low big boy. It's pretty gross. Well, here's Colossus to stop all the ground things. Random Shopkeep. It's gonna be like a Death Touch trick. Oh, just the thing that lets them draw one, sure. Oh. I could double block Witherbloom. Go to 5. We have to keep the flyers for the Witherbloom, which is why I didn't go for a double block on Shopkeep anywhere. It's pretty funny, but I could Arcane Omens for nothing just to draw one now that I have a Muse Seeker on the board. God dang it, dude. Draw one, discard one, find something other than Arcane Omens. Page does not do anything either. Man, I'm just gonna be dying of flyers today, apparently. Everything else is kind of like under control, and we're just dying to flyers. Yep, if this Rebel Rouser does not find interaction, that is it. And it does not. Finds another land. Flyers OP, please nerf. We are 2 and 3, just getting shredded in the sky with this one. I think this deck was fine. I think we probably could have won at least the first game of Magic. I don't think we could have won that third game of Magic. So if we played a little better, probably could have gotten a little farther. But I'm not mad with the deck. I don't hate how we drafted in this pod. I think we ended up with a pretty solid one here. Just needed maybe a little bit better interaction, a little bit better ways to deal with flyers. The main opportunities I remember seeing that we could have taken were some opportunities to pick up a Johnny's removal spell, the one that blows up a tapped creature for only 2 mana, or any creature for 5. I think that would have worked really well in here, actually. in hindsight, I think that's the biggest spot where we could have had a better deck during the draft. If we had one or two less Muse Seekers and just had a couple of the 5-mana Johnny's removal spell, I think that would have helped us actually quite a bit. But I didn't really have any issues with the amount of finishers that we had. We had enough to close games before we milled out. Splatter Technique was incredible. Arcane Omens. We drew Arcane Omens in some awkward matchups. I mean, we just played against almost all creature decks. So that's just kind of like a rock, paper, scissors loss for Arcane Omens there. Less than that card being bad. Yeah, I think we just needed a little bit more removal to stop those flyers from shredding us and knocking us down to a 2-3 run. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and are interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.